What's going on, everybody? It's the ITP Paladin, coming back with you with a quick response video because I'm very finite on time and I'm watching my daughter as we speak. She's occupied with her Blue's Clues and all that. So first and foremost, I have about 4 bullet points that I need to cover, and I'm going to make this as brief as possible. So let me start off by saying that over literally the last 3 days, you guys have not only given me more subscribers within a short amount of time than I've ever gotten before, but you've also increased my viewership myriads on this. I have so far, I'm literally 1 viewer. In fact, actually, I think it might have updated by this point. We are at 902. Woo! And now I owe you guys a very huge thank you for that one. So first and foremost, from the bottom of my heart, sincerely, thank you guys. I want to continue this content. I hope that I am in bringing you some form of entertainment and something that's worth your time and effort to, sit down and watch all this time. But thank yous aside, though, I'm not going to try and brown nose all of you. But talking about time, there is actually, I'm going to cover that as well. Because I did receive some feedback. 2 bits of feedback, technically 3, but I'm going to go over it in a second. I do want to talk about my previous video that's gaining so much traction, which is basically my Aim Explained, the console aim settings guide for you. And I want to cover this because I think a lot of people have confused exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to reiterate this in this video, and this will be a very short explanation. The purpose of this guide was not to give you the magic ratio. The purpose of this guide was not to give you guys like, oh, hey, try these aim settings out and it'll work for you. The reason that I brought this guide was because all that time ago, I was constantly in an ebb and flow of trying to determine why is my aim so inconsistent. One match I'll get like 38%, the next match I'll get 24%, and then it's between, it's like scattered. And I was getting so frustrated because my aim would not improve and I was not getting the value that I needed from my hero pool. And my hero pool was very loose, by the way, so that was also like part of the reason why it was so crappy. But I'll be honest, when I finally found my hero pool, I was still finding inconsistencies. So I was like, you know what, enough is enough. I'm going to look up guides and see, like, dissect information that I know will pertain to me. And lo and behold, after literal hours, and I kid you not, hours of searching up different guides, I basically came to the same conclusion that all guides are, for lack of a better word, bullshit. They all offer the same generic structure. Oh, do this and you'll see improvements in your aim. Here's what you gotta do. And then they waste 15 minutes of your time basically telling you the most generic thing that you could possibly get. And as a result, at the end of it, you're like, well, I just learned nothing from 15 minutes of you rambling to hear the sound of your own voice. I do that too, but at least I'm honest about it. But here's the thing. When I made this guide with the purpose of not just basically having enough of the generic crap, but also to give you guys, because here's the thing. As a content creator, a lot of people basically say, if you wouldn't watch your own video, then don't put it out there because nobody else will watch it if you wouldn't watch it. Well, guess what? I would watch this because at least it's an hour that will benefit my time and I will not waste more time. Like, you could waste your time on half a dozen videos and waste an hour and a half, or you can just get 1 hour video, save yourself half an hour of constantly searching for different videos to get the same response and actually get the pertained information in one video. So I'll talk more about the time frame afterwards in this instance, but for right now, we're covering the purpose. The purpose was to give you the keys so that you can determine what is perfect for you. I made a structure that kind of worked like a pyramid. I went from the most generic setting to the most specific setting and went up and worked it in a way that everybody could hopefully easily understand. And if it worked for you, which a lot of comments have been mentioning that it so far seems helpful, but I'm going to give it time. I wouldn't doubt that some people are probably going to get, a little frustrated and all that. The purpose is not to improve your aim immediately. The purpose is to find your aim settings so that when you pick up the game, you're not frustrated about inconsistency, but rather, oh, it's just normal. And then it eliminates it's working smarter, not harder. So that's the purpose of the aim guide. Now we move on to one of the biggest complaints, and first is fluff. Over talking. That's a personal problem that I got and I'm trying to work on with my approach on my videos, so I do apologize if there seems to be a lot of fluff, but to counteract this argument, they were talking about an hour of it, they're like, oh, we don't have an hour. to watch these videos. And I appreciate all criticism. I'm not calling anybody out, and I appreciate that feedback. I do not plan on making a shorter video, only for one reason and one reason only, because the purpose of this guide is to take your time. If you rush this, you're going to have bad results, and I know that because that was part of my testing. I didn't document, as it were, by writing it down, but I did take like shorthand notes and like, okay, this process didn't work, this process didn't work, this process didn't work. And it was consistent that if you rushed this guide, if you rushed your process of AIM, you're just going to frustrate yourself. And I can tell you I've been frustrated plenty of times while trying to come up with this because that was part of the process. I understand that there's fluff, but I counteracted that by putting chapters in the videos, and I put a written and a slideshow guide together that would basically describe everything. And you can go to the guide, and the guide might not be very short, but it is shorter than the hour-long video, because the hour-long video is me explaining it, and words take time when you could read faster. So the point stands is, for the fluff instance, there are chapters in the video. Do what pertains to you. You don't have to do this from the way beginning, although if you follow the structure the first time around and then the next times you could actually shorten your guide because you know that there's some stuff you can, like for instance, your sensitivity. If you find that your settings later on become moot or whatever not, like it wasn't the way you thought it was, but you felt comfortable at an earlier step, like your sensitivity. Don't change your sensitivity, just go back to the portion of your guide that went to the aim smoothing and beyond. Or if you felt comfortable at your aim smoothing, go to the next one and then beyond, so on and so forth. Pick up where you need to. That's the purpose of this guide. It works from the base settings and works its way up. So for the fluff instance, I am sorry, I want to try and make shorter videos, but I will not be making a shorter one. We could utilize the chapters so that way you guys can get to the specific portions of the guide that you want and just fast forward through the extra fluff that I talk about. So that's just a future warning for everybody. That is the intended purpose of the chapters, and I hope that that helps you guys out sincerely. The second one, now that we're talking about it, has to do with the time, the 1 hour time frame. I reiterate one thing and one thing only. I am not going to make a shorter video because there is no point. I'm not going to remove the fluff because every generic AIM guide is not going to help you. My goal is to help you understand. And so, in the famous words of Gandalf, altered for this situation, it is not too long, nor is it too short. It is precisely as long as it needs to be, and apparently that was an hour. But the point stands, I'm trying to teach you how to fish, and it's going to take time. I understand a lot of people don't have an hour to waste on it, and so far there's been a mix of feedback where there's very few negative reviews at the minute, but I anticipate that that's going to grow as more attention comes to it, and I'm fine with it. I can take the criticism. But as far as the time effort goes, it is as long as it needs to be because the effort and the process works. And quite honestly, an hour-long video is a short sacrifice considering that you would spend roughly about an hour and a half to 2 hours just sifting through multiple guides over on YouTube anyway. So if you were able to spend 2 hours just searching up video after video after video after video, wouldn't it be real? In fact, actually, you can probably eliminate a good 10-15 minutes from it by eliminating the first portions that I talk about because the guide covers pretty much everything. So you could eliminate like the first 10 minutes of the video and make it like a 50-minute video or a 45-minute video. Either way, it's still shorter than an hour by 15 minutes. And then you could also eliminate the end, which probably eliminates an extra 5, and you have 40 minutes. For time's sake and all that, do what you need to do for yourself. That is the purpose of this guide. I want to help you because I was in your positions as console players trying to find the aim that worked for me. And I'm telling you, it worked for me because now my aim is consistently better in Overwatch 2. I know it for a fact to be true, and I'm asking you guys, just give it a shot. Test it yourself. If you test it yourself, I promise you'll see results, and you just have to give it a little time. Give yourself a reasonable amount of time, like test it out for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you deem reasonable for yourself, and just see if it helps. If it doesn't help, give me the feedback so that I can look into it. My goal here is to help you guys. If this step-by-step process helps you, great. I am so happy for you because that was the intended purpose. If it doesn't help you, that's fine. Tell me what didn't work for you so that maybe I can adjust it for future videos and future content, and if you don't want to let me know, that's fine. No information, no news is good news, so I assume it either works for you or you just bypassed it. It's not for everybody. But I'm going to call it here because I'm hitting a 10-minute time frame and I'm trying to keep it short. But the point stands. I sincerely am going to repeat, I'm going to keep saying this because I'm a klutz. Thank you guys so very much. I am right now nearing 1,000 views on that one video, and it has a very high like ratio as well. 53 likes and 1 dislike, ironically enough. I don't know who gave the dislike as of recently. I'm going to find him and track him down. I'm just kidding. But I'm going to stop with the humor. You guys have a good one. I'll try and make another video in the future. Right now, again, I said I was strapped for time. I have another video I do need to make about the Overwatch balance patch that they promised us and didn't deliver on, so I'll get to that as soon as possible. You guys take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Oh.